Welcome to the Road to a Million. Okay, what week is this? Oh,
This is week number 97.
number 97. Guys, we've been doing this call for 97 weeks in a row. Katie, have you ever done anything for 97 weeks in a row before?
I've survived, yes, for 97 weeks in a row, a couple times.
Yeah. Doing something for any extended period of time is yeah, it's a challenge. And this call is yeah, I would say it definitely has its challenges, it has its moments, but at the end of the day, it's rewarding, it's fun, and I think that I think the purpose, like the purpose of the call, it supersedes whether I want to do it or not, whether you want to do it or not. It just like the purpose is bigger than us. And so I want to share with you guys a little bit what that purpose is today before we get into the call today. But yeah, number 97. Katie, is there any significance to you to the number 97?
I think it has to do with a car or something,
Yeah.
a really
Well,
fast car,
yeah.
but no, not to me personally.
So last night, it's funny that Kobe's on here today. I think this is Kobe's first call she's ever been on here, which is actually cool. We'll be talking about her today a little bit. But so Kobe is our oldest daughter, and so we do a little tradition called Wins the Gratefuls. We do this every single night. I can't tell you how long we've been doing it for, but it's been before Lainey was born. And so it's been at least 6 or 7 years. She's almost 7 now. Um, and so, but we do this thing called Win the Gratefuls, and everybody gets to go around and get to share their wins and what they're grateful for the day. And so when we were doing this, Kobe had made a mention that she looks at time sometimes, and if she catches her birthday on there, then all of a sudden like it's like good luck. And I just have never heard that before. It's never something that I've ever looked at the clock and be like, oh, it's my birthday. So I don't know if you guys have ever done that before, but it just got me thinking of like the significance of numbers and being able to like when we're searching something or looking for something, then we can find it. And so week number 97. Yeah, this number does have some significance to me, and I want to share a little bit about what it is. So I grew up not in a family of entrepreneurs, not a family of business, not a people who had money, not investors. I grew up in a family that probably did all the opposite of those things, which is race cars. um, and my grandpa was the one who started this family tree, and he was a race car driver back in the day when they weren't even wearing helmets. And then my dad also raced cars. My mom even raced cars for a little period of time. She didn't race for very long, but she definitely did race cars. I actually have two younger cousins who one still races and one did race. And I actually raced as well. And so my racing started when I was 15 years old, and it started out with street racing. And so, have you guys ever seen the what is the movies called? It's not the Need for Speed. What are the
Fast and Furious.
Fast and the Furious? Yeah, yeah, the Fast and the Furious. You guys ever remember those movies, the Fast and the Furious, right? With the I call them rice burners, or like the import cars with the big wings, and they sound really loud. They sound like a rice burner. Um, so sometimes I question my parents' judgment. Okay. So as a 15-year-old kid, so in Montana, we got our license at I think 14 and a half. And at 14 and a half slash 15 years old, my dad bought me a Toyota Supra. And so if you guys ever seen the Fast and Furious movies, that's like one of the main cars in there's this Toyota Supra. So I'm 15 years old. I have this Toyota Supra. It's a fast car. And the very first day I got my license, I got in trouble for racing and I got a ticket. And just so silly. So silly. Um, my parents, guys, by the way, my parents are silly. I'm not silly. Why would they give a 15-year-old kid a freaking sports car? I don't know. I think it's silly. But I did some street racing, and then that car I ended up blowing it up. I ended up blowing the engine up, racing it too hard, doing all the things you shouldn't do. And I got rewarded by getting a Chevy Camaro Z28. By golly, poor Logan. Blew this car up. Now he gets a freaking Camaro. Freaking fast car. Ooh, and it sounded so nice. Different than the rice burner sound. This had like a nice purr to it. And so, yeah, again, questioning my parents' judgment. My mom bought me that car. So maybe my mom was just upset with my dad. She was like, well, you bought him this car, I'll buy him this car. Like, probably what happened. Um, but then as I got a little bit older, 17, 18 years old, I actually started racing what's called SCCA. So most of you guys don't know what that is, which is totally fair. But if you guys have ever seen a big empty parking lot with a bunch of cones and you see these cars randomly zooming around it, that's what SCCA is. And so raced that for a couple years. And then when I was 19 and 20 years old, I actually raced dirt track cars. So if you guys have ever seen dirt track racing, usually the sprint cars is what most people have ever seen. So the cars with the big wings that go really fast. Yeah, I wasn't racing those type of cars. I was racing like the very, very first class, which was called a street stock. But I raced that at um, 19 years old and 20 years old. And yeah, that was like what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just wanted to be a race car driver. And my hero was my Uncle Jody. He was the best out of my family, but like he was just one of the best um, at the local dirt track anyway. And his number was number 97. And I just remember being a kid and like playing with like my little cars and just like pretending I was my Uncle Jody. And so, I mean, as a kid, guys, that's all I wanted to be. I just want to be a race car driver. And at 19, 20 years old, I get to fulfill that dream. And what I realized by doing it was that racing is a hobby that needs a lot of money to be successful. And so it was kind of like in that moment, I was like, dang, like if I ever want to be good at this, if I ever like, I want to like be successful, like I got to learn how to make money. And so I realized that again, all my family members, while they loved racing, they just, they made enough money just to basically put into their cars, and that money went away real quick. And so, um, yeah, that's like no one as a kid. I never learned about money. I didn't learn about business. I didn't know like what was possible outside of the local dirt track. And so I think, guys, that's why I think like that's why I love this call so much is because the purpose of the call is for you guys to have an opportunity to learn about business and learn what's possible. And maybe it's a void that like I didn't have, but maybe a lot of you guys don't have that, didn't have that either. You didn't learn entrepreneurship. You didn't learn about money. Like Kobe's on this call and my youngest daughter, Lainey, like they know more about money at 16 and 6 than I did at 25 years old. And like I say that in like complete sincerity. And their zero is just going to be so much higher than what mine was. And I think that's the point in this call is like to help your guys' zero just to move up. And so appreciate you guys for being on this call for the last 97 weeks. Katie, I appreciate you for making this important. We don't get paid a single dime for this call. Um, in monetarily anyway, but we get paid in fulfillment. We get paid on like we actually have an opportunity to we actually get to share with you guys what we've learned. And I think that is the greatest gift that I have is like we actually have value that we can provide. And the fact that you guys find it valuable enough to continue to show up to these calls, like I really do appreciate that. And so I thank you guys for making it possible because if you guys stopped showing up, we would stop doing it. And there's many calls that we have done for free that we've stopped doing. And this is the one that has stayed true. It has stayed here. And so thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this is your first call and you guys are like, wow, I have 96 more calls I go listen to, James will drop the link. So there's a couple places you guys can listen to this. There's a podcast. So if you guys have Apple, you get onto Apple Podcasts and it's called Road to a Million. You guys can go on there and you guys can subscribe and listen to all the podcasts. You guys can do it on Spotify as well. I actually just started uploading them on YouTube. So you can listen to them on YouTube as well, all for free. And then if you guys are inside the free home cleaning courses group, there's a whole module for the Road to a Million. You guys can go in there and watch the replays. And also, if you guys are inside the home cleaning mentorship, there's a place inside there. And so, yeah, guys, there's lots of places you guys can listen to old episodes and even future episodes as well. And again, thank you guys for being on here. And today I'm going to hopefully give you what you guys showed up for, which is like, what do you guys need? What is the decision you guys need to make that separates you from doing $100,000 a year versus doing $1 million a year, right? So, Katie, you ready to dive in?
Let's be courageous.
Let's be courageous. Yeah, guys. Okay. So, let's talk about that. So, I think it's important that, like, before we start saying words that we don't understand what they mean, like, let's define some terms. So, Katie, what is courage? Like, if we define courage, what is it in the definition? In a practical
Definition of
definition.
courage.
Practical
Yeah.
definition.
The definition of courage is acting with the presence of fear.
Mm. How many of you guys feel fear throughout the day? Cool. There's your opportunity to be courageous. I don't know where I heard this, but I think it was from a book. But the guy said, "Do you know what the difference between courage and confidence is?" Confidence feels good, right? There's a difference. And so every single day, guys, we all have an opportunity to be courageous because fear is it's either a friend or a foe, but it's always there. It never goes away. And so our relationship with fear, it will determine our actions, and our actions will determine our outcomes, and our outcomes will determine our fulfillment in life. And so courage, we're going to talk a lot about today. That's why I think it's important to define. And so Katie just put it in the chat. So if you guys need to see it, you guys can hear it, but now you can see it. Katie put it in the chat. Thank you. The next definition that we want to make sure we're speaking the same terms is commitment. Okay. Commitment. Katie, what is the practical definition of commitment?
The definition of commitment is the elimination of other options.
Yeah, there's lots of expressions that I put behind this, but it's like there's only one option, guys, and that's to be successful. Now, you can measure success in lots of different ways, and I think the way that my general choice of success in this group is 83K. I think that if we use that as like that is the consensus. If you get your business to 83K, you will be successful. Right? That's the only option. You must get to 83K. There is no option. 60K is not an option. 40K, don't justify just getting to 60K. Don't just justify getting to 70. Don't just justify getting to 40. Those are milestones. By all means, use them as milestones, but do not justify that you stop, that you quit at 60K. I have personally been in those different levels of this specific cleaning business. I have coached many, many people in those specific levels. I assure you. Nobody who's got to 80K said, I wish I would have stopped at 60. Nobody. Right? The benefits that you get at 83K, the options I should say that it gives you freedom. And I think that's ultimately when someone says, I want to make more money, it's like, no, you don't. Like, money is not what you want. Katie, is money fulfilling? Is money fulfilling to you? Like, just looking at your bank account and seeing all the money, it was like, does that make you, well, I want to say make you happy, but like, does it fulfill you?
No.
Cool. But what does it give you? What are some things like you can, I'm curious. What does it give you? Like when you see it, what does it give you? I'll tell you what
Yeah,
it gives
options.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Options. So right now we
Security.
have an in-school home teacher for our, like, this is a dream of mine to be able to educate our children from our house without me doing it.
Yeah.
So that money provided that option.
Security.
Security for sure.
Yeah. It's funny. We got a piece of mail, and how many of you guys usually get money in the mail? Or do you guys get bills, right? You guys get bills in the mail. It's like, I don't want to open the mail up. And so an extra bill the other day. And it was from a bad check that someone wrote for our Montana location. Katie, how much was that bad check?
$2,500.
$2,500. And so if you have $2,500 in your bank account, guys, no, you're not anymore. Because the bank said, we pulled this money out because this was bad. It's like, cool. But if you got more than $2,500, substantially more, then like it gives you security. Like, yeah, that sucks, but it's okay. Like it's not gonna depend on if I can make payroll or make rent or pay rent, or it's gonna affect if I can buy groceries or the stress of just like having little amounts of money or overdrafts, fees, whatever it may be. And I think that's another thing that money can give you. It can give you security. So it can give you fulfillment by like or options. It can give you security, right? I think another thing for me personally that it that it gives me is it just gives me peace. It just gives me peace to know that like I'm not controlled by a piece of paper. Like I can actually do what I want to do. And I think as I get older, some of you guys are older than me, some of you guys are younger than me, but like every single day as I get a little older, like I have a realization that like I'm getting closer to death than I am to when I was born. And so eventually like it's gonna happen. And so I think a lot about it in the sense of like if like when I die, like what is actually gonna be important? What's actually gonna matter? Is it that I have millions of dollars in my bank account? Or is it that I helped millions of people put money in their bank accounts? And I think the more that we can try to understand why, what our why is, why we do what we do, what makes us tick. I think that's what money gives us is it gives us the option to like, for us to be who we want to be, not somebody we have to be in order for us just to pay bills. And so that's the first step of this, guys, is like, you don't like that is something that is earned. That's not something you just get to wake up and say, okay, I'm just doing life on my terms. Good luck. You will stay broke with that mindset. There's a sacrifice that has to happen that you must do whatever. You must be a chameleon. You must do whatever's required in order for you to get the business to 83K, to get to that option, to create financial freedom, for then you have the option to then you get to do what you like to do, what you want to do. But it's a game of sequence first. Okay. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk a lot about the courage to commit. Okay. And so Katie put both definitions inside the chat. And so I'm going to share with you guys some examples of what this actually looks like, because I think it's important that you guys have definitions. Now I want you to show you some examples. And as you guys hear some of these examples, also like you can feel free to put some examples of yours in the chat as well. Like be active. Use like if you want to get value from this call, here's some things to do. Be in the chat, have your cameras on, be attentive, be focused, close your go high levels. Okay. Don't be distracted with clients right now. Cleaners, like ignore them. Yes, cleaner can't get into home. Good luck. Get in. You got it. Figure it out. Right? Ignore them. Leave them on an island by themselves. Okay. Be here right now. Be here. Okay. As um, there's a guy named Sharon who is actually partners with Alex and Layla, and he has a great quote where he says, "Be where your feet are." Like, be here, guys. Be here. One of the most valuable things, like especially in a world where we're so connected, even like on these Zooms, we're so connected. It's so easy for us to like be here. Like, be here. Be here. That is actually value. It's so valuable to be where your feet are. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about this. So Kobe's on here today, which is awesome. Maybe Katie Condered, maybe Katie Condered be on here today. But so Katie just talked about how like it was one of our goals to have our kids be able to be schooled from home. And so Lainey has a teacher. Kobe just enrolled into online school, so she's 16 years old. And yeah, so with online school, get a lot of flexibility. Outside of her being a competitive swimmer, where she has practices, morning practice and afternoon practices, like she has a lot of flexibility, right? Lots of free time, no bills. And so I started thinking about the other day when I was on my way from the gym, and I was like, man, if I had the situation that she had at 16, I started thinking about like, man, I would do this and I would do this. I'd be so rich. Uh, and then I started to realize that like, I never would have done any of that stuff. Never, never. And it's not because I was dumb, it's just because I just didn't have the courage. I never had the courage to do what she is doing right now. And that was leave the crowd. Because like when I was growing up, all I wanted to do was like I wanted to be part of the crowd. I wanted to be part of what everybody else was doing. And so I told you guys a little bit about my upbringing, but like I grew up in a tiny town. It's called Power, Montana. You guys want to guess my graduating class? You guys will never guess, but you guys can.
Many people.
How many people? Yeah, yeah. Jim Montoya got it. 12. I had 12 kids graduate in my class. And I was at the bottom of the class. I was like number 8 or 9 as far as like grades were concerned. But by the way, it's tough. It's tough when you're in a small class like that. Um, but live in this tiny town. And when I was a sophomore, my dad actually moved into Great Falls, which was a bigger town, right? Much bigger town, 50,000 people from a town of 500 people. So again, not huge, but in terms of Montana, it was a bigger town. And it was to opportunity. It was to go where there was more people, there's more opportunity. And I refused. I refused to go. And I masked it as loyalty, but it was just I was just scared. I didn't want to leave my environment. I played it safe, guys. I avoided risk. I avoided being vulnerable. I acted like I didn't care. It was too cool. Too cool. It's too cool, right? But it also ate me up because I did care. I just wasn't strong enough to be able to show it. I was too insecure to be able to like show that I actually wanted to do it. I just was afraid. And so I would say probably from like 16 to about 25, I played that game. I played the scared game. I didn't put myself out there. I was never vulnerable. Even like with relationships, I would intentionally sabotage a relationship because I was afraid of getting hurt. And I just figured if I hurt them, well, at least then I couldn't get hurt first. Right. And so I would intentionally sabotage relationships. I would just intentionally not put myself in a situation where I could like feel rejection and feel pain, feel what I could feel. And yeah, it was a numb feeling. It was numb. And I remember when I decided to start my own business, and it came on the heels of being a personal trainer at a gym for 2.5 years, and like that's when the spark started to come back of like, oh, I actually started to gain some skills, and my first skills came from fitness and health, and came from my personal transformation, and then I started helping people, help them with their body transformations. I started to get some skills. I was like, oh, maybe I actually can be valuable. I actually can help. And then all of a sudden, the spark started to come back, and then I made the decision to start my own business and leave the gym and start a little personal training gym. Uh, Start a personal training gym with no business plan, no marketing plan, no skills whatsoever outside of that. I've been a personal trainer for 2.5 years that somebody else had sold for me and they just had given to me. And I was like, I got this. And so I quickly realized that like I didn't got this. And yeah, I started actually reading and consuming and starting to try to like learn. And the first business book I ever read was a book called Think and Grow Rich. Any of you guys ever heard that book before or read that book before? Any of you guys? Yeah, it's a great book. It's an old book. Uh, it was released, I think, in the teens. No, not the 20 teens, the 19 teens, right? 100 years ago, right? It was all based in like times like in the Great Depression. Um, but there's one chapter, like that's a great book, but there was one chapter, and I can literally remember sitting in my bedroom. Katie, you remember this? It was the house was on a street called Greenway. My room was a blue room. I was sitting there on my tablet reading this book, and this chapter came up, and it was called "The Mystery of Sex Transmutation." And so, to put it really simply, like inside that chapter, Napoleon Hill talks about sexual energy equating to creative drive. And so I remember reading that chapter and was like, whoa, like like this is me. Like I had all this energy and I was directing it into distractions. Like I had this like insatiable desire to help, but like I just like refused to actually do things that were meaningful. And I just tried and I just did things that were distractions that were like quick dopamine hits, right? Short-term pleasures. And I was like, whoa, this is like I like this idea. Like I have this drive. And so although I didn't grow up in a family of entrepreneurs, I didn't grow up with anybody who really like had any sort of material success or financial success for that matter. There was one person who I think I am who I am today from me watching him, which is my dad. And his name is Blue. His real name Frederick, but goes by Blue. And that guy was obsessed. He just had this like when he did something, he was as Kobe would say, he's locked in. Like he was obsessed. Like get out of his way. You would try to talk to him, and like you thought he was ignoring you, but he was where his feet were. Um, and I have a lot of like I I owe a lot of my obsession to him. I think the biggest problem as I look back on it, if I were to coach him as an example, he just was obsessed with the things that never compounded. They never came back around. So anytime you put his money to them, things like cars, like it just never came back around where it ended up filling his bucket back up. He would always pour out, but it would never come back in. And I think that's where his obsession eventually fizzled. But that obsession, and some of you guys have it. Some of you guys have it, right? Like when I say that, some of you guys are like, that's me. And it's taking that obsession, that energy, and focusing it as something that actually matters, right? Helping, serving, giving, creating assets, creating systems, creating processes, creating things that like have potential to go even without you continuing to pour into it, right? That's what an asset is. And so after reading that book, guys, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have it, right? I understand, like I have this thing. Now I just got to get rid of these distractions. And so I realized I needed to stop chasing chaos and I needed to start looking for stability. And I didn't know this at the time, but like I needed myself a Katie. I needed somebody who was loyal, who was stable, who was attractive, but also was also focused as well. Okay. And so I remember I was like, okay, like I'm gonna stop being distracted. I'm gonna go find myself a person who like meets this criteria that I could like focus on growing my business and not continue to focus on chasing distractions. And so I found Katie and like Kobe as well. And at the time, Kobe was 4 years old. And like, well, most people might have seen that as a con. I saw it as like, I was like, amazing. Like, she already has a kid, which means that she's probably not gonna try to pressure me to have a kid because like I just want to grow my business. And I was like, marriage, like we probably don't like probably not gonna be pressured to have getting married because she just came out of a marriage. And like I was like, cool, like I can just have somebody who can like be all these things without having to put the additional pressure on, like, well, we gotta get married and have kids. I'm like, I just want to grow a business. I just need to like make sure that I'm like I need someone to keep me focused and to push me to grow the business rather than distract me. Um, and that's why I saw Katie as like the greatest asset. And like now, 12 years later, um, I got way more from Katie than I could ever imagined, and Kobe as well. And so that's what I did first. I was like, I had to commit to the relationship. And so I committed to both Katie and Kobe. Um, and those were the things that got me to really like change my trajectory in life from being this person who was afraid to do anything, to put myself out there, to have feelings, to like I'm going to commit to Katie and Kobe, and that is what led me to even opportunity to actually have the business start to actually like have a business that I could then commit to as well because I was willing to feel and as you guys know, like there's gonna be a lot of feelings that happen when you're growing a business, right? And if you avoid those feelings, like sure, you're not gonna feel bad, but you'll never feel good ever. You'll never get to the great feelings if you're not willing to accept that there's gonna be some bad feelings along the way. Right? And so Katie and I, yeah, so in 2018, I convinced Katie to quit her job. So she had a stable job working as an office manager at a dentist office, and she had three doctors who she worked for, and all three of them were trying to convince her that she was making the wrong move by leaving there and going full time entrepreneur with me. And by the way, they were probably right. It probably was a smart move to stay. But I convinced Katie, I sold her, and she had the courage to leave that safe environment to come on this journey. And she's been a full-time entrepreneur with me since 2018. And we started in the gym business. We did the gym business together, and then really in 2020, so about 2 years later, we realized that we wanted to start another business. And at the time, our philosophy was we wanted all these like small businesses. So we still had the gym, we had some real estate, and the coaching that we had, which by the way, I don't recommend this whatsoever, but just the coaching we had at the time was like, you should start another business. You guys are pretty good at business, start another business. And so Katie were like, okay, cool. We'll start this business together. It'll be like our first business that we could just start together. And so um, we basically narrowed it down to three options. Katie, you want to share what those three options were?
Airbnb arbitrage,
Yeah.
a marketing agency,
Let's start with Airbnb arbitrage.
and
Hold on. Airbnb arbitrage. Why did we think Airbnb arbitrage might have been a good idea?
we had already had Airbnbs. Um, so there was familiarity there. There was comfort. There was security. We knew something.
Mhm.
It came with systems behind it. We didn't have to market. Airbnb basically markets for you, and there was no sales, like instant bookings all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys hate sales, go be an Airbnb. Right? It's like there is no sales. There's no sales process or anything with Airbnb. Um, Now, arbitrage. So if you guys aren't familiar with what the word arbitrage is, so again, like we owned Airbnbs and we would rent out our own Airbnbs. The difference between owning and doing what's called Airbnb arbitrage is that when you did arbitrage, we would go to a private landlord who had their home out for rent, and we would say, "Hey, we will rent your home for whatever the market rate rent is, but then we're going to turn around, we're going to put this on Airbnb, and we're going to get a higher rate, and we're going to make the difference." That's called the arbitrage, right? So that's what Airbnb arbitrage was. So that was our first business option. Okay. Okay, what was our second option that we were choosing between?
Marketing agency.
Yeah. Why? Why did we think marketing agency might have been a good idea?
Yeah, we knew how to market. Again, familiarity, something that we had done before, quite successfully in the gym.
Yeah.
Um, no systems, no sales.
Yeah. Yeah. So um, we knew how to market. And not only did we do local gym, but eventually we did online training, and we eventually had like I was marketing all across the country. And so like I started to learn a little bit how to market outside of a local market, which is way freaking harder. Like you guys being on here in whole different places in the world is very hard to do. Uh, this might seem easy because you guys show up for free, but like it's very hard to even get you guys on a free call. And then some of you guys actually give us money. Holy moly, that is freaking hard to do. Trust a stranger who you guys have never met in person, some guy from the internet, like very hard to do. But it all starts with marketing first, right? And so we thought, yeah, maybe this is a good idea. And then the third idea, Katie, what was our third idea?
Third idea was home cleaning.
Yeah, yeah. Why? Why did we think home cleaning might have been a good idea?
Because we knew how to market, we knew how to sell, but definitely still didn't have systems for it.
Yeah. And we had our own Airbnbs. We thought that it could also be helpful that we could use this cleaning business as a way to like clean our Airbnbs. But yeah, we're like, we don't have any systems, no cleaning, no fulfillment systems, but I'm pretty sure I could market and sell this thing. So out of all three options, as you guys know today, we chose the ironic choice, the one we had zero experience and zero clients in, and yeah, zero cleaning experience in. But once we made the decision, we were actually in Las Vegas when we made this decision. And before we even landed, I had an offer up, a landing page, and we had our first lead before we even landed back in Montana. And I was like, we're in the business now. And Katie was like, okay. I just started calling leads and eventually got them to say yes. And Katie was scrambling. I don't even know how you figured out how to clean, but like somehow you did. And you went into clients' homes and cleaned their homes. And some people paid, some people didn't. That's how good we were. That people were like, not paying for this. And despite us not knowing, despite Katie, were you at all afraid when any of this was happening? Or were you just like, oh, no big deal. I'm just going into strangers' houses, not knowing how to clean, and they're going to give me money, and it's all going to be good.
No, every day, just pit in the stomach, just begrudgingly going out. Then our first client was a non-paying client. First client didn't pay. So again, like confidence is definitely not going in the right direction. It's going down. Fear is definitely increasing. And I had to go out and go into another house after the last client just complained about me and try again.
Yeah. So funny. I I texted her after the first clean, after the clean, and just like, hey, just curiosity, how'd it go? And then all of a sudden, I just get these mirage of pictures. I was like, uh-oh. And then her only thing she said was she even here? And I'm like, I wasn't concerned about the client at that point. I was concerned about Katie. I'm like, I got to tell her this, I guess. Like this is gonna be tough to tell her.
It
Like,
was tough because I actually thought I did a good job. That was the bad part.
I don't, and that's the thing. So I remember the night before saying that she thought she did a good job, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to like give this girl like a version of reality that is much different than hers. And that's why I think I love business so much because it just does that, guys. Like you can think you're awesome, you can think you're cool, but at the end of the day, like the marketplace will tell you. And really, like your bank account will tell you. And I think like as much as it sucks, sometimes it's hard to look at, but like that's what we use to measure. And if you just accept those are the measurements, then we can use that as a way to get better, right? And yeah, and getting on sales calls, not understanding about cleaning, never cleaned myself. Not, I don't have any of the tools that you guys have today inside the mentorship. Even some of the stuff I have inside the free home cleaning courses group that I give away for free, like I didn't have any of that. Like I'm just making stuff up, making up prices, I have no idea. Selling deep cleans for $200. That's probably why Katie got kicked out. Like, because I didn't give her an opportunity to actually like do a good job. Like, anyway, but we were just trying to figure it out. Despite the fear, we just moved forward anyway, right? And you guys, guess what? In 2020, while it was only 3 months, October, November, December, guess how much money that we made in revenue?
People who did pay,
Yeah,
we found a few.
people did pay. You guys want to participate? You guys can put in the chat. In 3 months, how much money do you guys think that Bows and 5 Star Cleaning actually made in 2020?
Mhm.
Yeah, $6,700. That's how it started. And in 2021, the first full year, so this is a whole year now. Katie, how much did I make?
179,000.
Yeah. So like, guys, like, it wasn't like we were some like business guru experts. Like we made $179,000 in our first full year. Like most of you guys in here are probably above that right now. The people inside our community that you could consider yourselves like the smallest businesses, you're still bigger than what we were at this point. Okay. 2022, Katie, our second full year.
479,000.
Okay. Figuring it out. Figuring it out. And then to 2023.
2023, we did our first millions and we hit $1.1 million that year.
Yeah. So I want to show you guys that, like, yes, like we started this journey sharing you guys when we were already had $1 million business, but like it took courage to get to the point where we even had the opportunity to like stay in business to eventually figure it out. And as most of you guys are here because like you guys believe that we have something figured out, uh, it happened right there. About 2023, that's when we started actually figuring out how the business worked. It took us a couple years. We're like, oh, now we understand what business we were actually in because we're not in the cleaning business, Katie. What business are we actually in? This is what helped. This is what that big jump was from 2022 to 2023. We're not in the cleaning business. What business are we in, Katie? Yeah.
Sorry, I was answering a question in the chat. What did you ask me?
Yeah. We're not in the cleaning business. What business are we in?
We are in the five-star experience business.
Yeah. And the people who deliver a 5-star experience, as Bobby said in the chat, are your cleaners, right? And so it's not just enough to have marketing and sales skills. And that was something that we had, but the thing that we had to learn was we had to learn the fulfillment process. We had to literally teach our cleaners how to deliver a 5-star experience without us being cleaners. And that's why it took a couple of years. But when we matched up marketing and sales, which is skills we had, and then us learning how to predictably deliver a 5-star experience, that's when we started to see the business take off, right? And so once we had that first $1 million, I was like, cool, I see something bigger, right? And so unfortunately, that vision, it was bigger than Montana. So like I told you guys earlier, like Montana is while it's a big state, it's relatively small in population. In fact, there's less than a million, there's about 1 million people in the entire state, right? And so many of you guys might be in places where you guys might have 1 million people in just one city, as an example. Um, and so I was like, we needed a higher ceiling. And so yeah, I had an idea that in order for this vision to come true, we needed to put ourselves in a different environment, right? And I call this one the move, right? And this was a move to a different state, a different place where we had no family, no friends, no safety net. Um, and mind you, Katie, how long have you lived in Bozeman, Montana for?
My entire life.
Yeah, born and raised. And I personally had been there since 2007, so about 17 years. And Kobe at the time, I'd lived there her whole life as well. And Lainey, she lived there her whole life. Of course, she's only at the time she was what, 3 or 4. Um, and so I decided that we're moving to Arizona. And Lainey, she didn't care. She had no understanding what was going on. Kobe, Kobe cared. She was about to be in high school. She's middle school, about to be in high school. Yeah, and the cost to us making that move is that we lost Kobe. We lost Kobe. She decided that she didn't want to move. Totally fair, totally fair. And the other cost was that like Katie was also upset with me as well. Um, she resented me um, for pulling us away from a good life, a comfortable life. And there was a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to go back. And it could have all been avoided. It just going back home could have made it all go away. And it was like one of those commitment points in my life where I was just like, no, like I'm committed and I'm willing to accept all the costs. Because I just believe that's what was required in order for this vision to come true. And stayed committed. And while there was, well, it was very hard. It was very hard. Probably one of the hardest times in my life for sure. Um, Kobe ended up coming back, thankfully, and Katie's conviction like is strengthened, and she was in, and it was clear that like we were both going to do this together. It was one of those huge commitment points, and yeah, I wrote this quote down because it was so good, and I was like, so here it is, guys. Like sometimes courage costs you before it rewards you. And that's why courage sometimes is hard. It's because sometimes you lose before you win. And that move, guys, is what actually set up this call today. Like all that was what led to actually even us having this opportunity right here. You guys know what happened 97 weeks ago? Why did we start this call 97 weeks ago? Do you guys remember? Marie Jed was on this call 97 weeks ago. She remembers. You guys remember what started 97 weeks ago? Janissa was on this call 97 weeks ago. Yes, we started Mesa 5-star cleaning. This location that you guys have all been watching us grow. I don't know if he's on here today, but I signed up somebody into the mentorship last week. And he's like, yeah, I've been following your podcast now for a couple years. And, we're watching you do it in Bozeman. And then you started this location in Mesa. And I was like, dang, that takes some balls. I was like, that right there. I was like, that's what I've been trying to get the point across for the last 2 years. It's like I just want to like show you guys like this is freaking hard. And also, but it's also possible. Right. And yeah. And so 97 weeks ago, guys, we started this call to document the start of our second location down here in Mesa, Arizona, in this place that, again, we had no family, no friends, no business. And to start the location, like, it wasn't like just like, okay, somebody go start this location. No, 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 no. We didn't know how to start a location, even though we did it once. Again, it was kind of half-assed, as you guys, not half-assed, but it was like we didn't know what we were doing. And we still didn't necessarily know what we were doing when we started this location. And so, like, in order for us to actually do this, like, we got to do the do first. And so, Katie, what did you do?
I went back out into the field.
Yeah, Katie, living a good, cushy, comfortable life, goes back in the field, cleans, trains, talks to clients, right? All the fun stuff. Puts on her scrubs, pulls her, puts her vacuum and her mop in her caddy and pulls it up, right? Does the thing. Like, I got respect for that. That's humility, guys. That's humility. And yeah, I jumped out in the seat and I did sales. I hired client support, cleaner support, right? I sold 200, 300, $400 cleans. Like I did the thing. I did it all, right? And did this all in front of you guys. We did it every single week. We shared, we documented, we let you guys know what we're doing. Yeah. Um, yeah. And it's funny. It's cool now being able to like talk about it after the fact. It was hard during it. If you guys want to, you guys can go back and watch those calls as well. It's in the podcast, Road to a Million. We talked about it earlier. All the places you can find it: podcast, YouTube, free home cleaning courses group, mentorship. You guys can go back and watch episode number 1 if you guys want to see. But that company will be 2 years old in March, right? So in about 2 months, it'll be 2 years old. It was not profitable for 17 months, which means Katie went and cleaned. I went and sold. We worked our butts off. We did that for 17 months before that business ever made a profit. That's what commitment looks like, guys. It's because I believe that it would eventually become profitable. And eventually it would pay not just us, but it also pay the office staff and would pay the team. You got to have the long-term belief. And that's what commitment is. It's like there is no other options. I didn't care if it took 20 months or if it would only took 12 months. Like we were committed to the goal of 83K. And it finally hit it. Right. And last quarter, we had our first profitable quarter. It actually made money. The business made over $100,000 last year, basically in a quarter. Like, is that worth it? Would you guys work for free for a year and a half to then make up $100,000 in basically a quarter? It's commitment, guys. That's what the commitment is. Yeah.
I think you can plug back in your quote right here. Sometimes courage costs you before it rewards you.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So good. Yeah. And then another big moment, guys. Some of you guys have been following us along now that another moment that I think about when we're talking about like this courage to commit is, yeah, we made our first acquisition. So Kellen's on here right now. You can see the Sacramento office, and we ended up buying our first home cleaning business. Yeah, crazy, crazy. And just so you guys know, like it was over $100,000 investment. We spent over $40,000 in legal fees. Like this was not like a like, hey, you want to like be friends and like you want a partner? It's like, no, this is like a legit transaction. Like this was legit. We had no idea what we were doing. We're talking to lawyers. Do you remember what the do you remember what the lawyer's hourly rate was, Katie? Do you remember what our hourly rate, what ours was? Our lawyer?
I don't remember 1700 to I don't remember
No.
$700. That was Cody,
Uh,
$700.
no, it was yes, the first lady. She was I think she was 650, but then she gave us her partner again. He was only $450 an hour.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I mean these are like real conversations and like we have no idea what we're doing. We're like so here's the cool part. And Kellen laughed about this. Like we put this deal together. Um, Tyler, Kellen, and us, we put this deal together and we gave it to the lawyer, and he's like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna work." I'm like, "Okay."
Darn.
He's like, this is not how this works." And I was like, "Cool." And so like again, we're just learning. We had no idea what we were doing. But again, it took courage for us just to put ourselves in the situation. It took courage to ask Tyler and Kellen to do this, and courage for them also to be part of this whole journey as well. Um, and yeah, guys, just again, just another example of like definitely had fear, and we just moved despite the fear. And it was really cool because last week we had our first all team vision meeting. So we had Bozeman, we had Mesa, and then we had SAC, and we all had it on the vision meeting, and we got to share our internal goal of where we're going to go in the next 5 years. And it was another crazy goal that I was like, man, it sometimes when it came at like even the words come out of my mouth were like, man, it seems unreasonable. But then I was like trying to sell them and share them how like it could be possible, show them the projections, and but it was scary. It was scary putting people in a room and committing to this goal because like there's nothing more that I personally want to do, but then to be able to fulfill on promises. So I'm also very cautious what I do promise, and so I didn't promise them this goal. I said we're going to go for the goal, and it's worth it for us to commit to the goal. And even if we come short, I will still be grateful and we'll be happy that we at least went for the goal. And guys, that is me talking to my 16 through 25-year-old self of like I wish I had told that person like just go for your goals, bro. Like the worst case scenario is actually the best case scenario. You don't hit your goals because you learn by not hitting the goals, and you can as long as you stay committed, you just change your strategy. And that was actually one of the coolest things that Alaya talked about on that call. So if you guys uh, are unfamiliar with that name, Alaya is our general manager of our Bozeman location, and she's also our regional manager where she helps the Mesa and the SAC location as well. And one thing that she said in that call was so cool. She's like, guys, like she's like, it's really cool to see that like the goal stays the same, but like the strategies they've changed so much even in the last 2 years. And it was cool for her to be able to see it and get it because like that's what it is. It's like we're committed to the goal. How we get there, by golly, that's probably going to change a lot, right? Based on our feedback, based on what we learned, based on us failing, us getting rejected, us not getting to the goal, and also us by like seeing wins, seeing progress, seeing wins as well, right? Um, Here's another cool little line for you guys. Most people will call you crazy, but I just call it courage before results show up. And so that's a signal you guys are doing through rides when people call you crazy. Some of you guys probably think I'm crazy, right? But like, hopefully you guys see yourself as a little crazy, like have a little crazy in you, because like there is no evidence. There's no evidence. Your job is to go create evidence, but the courage comes first, then the evidence. It doesn't come the other way around. Got to get the game of sequence right. Okay. And so every breakthrough requires four things: fear, decision, commitment, and time. Okay? You guys can write those things down: fear, decision, commitment, and time. Okay. Most people quit in between fear and time. They're afraid to make decisions. They're afraid to commit. Courage is deciding there's only one acceptable outcome. And for every of you guys inside here, it's $1 million home cleaning business. That's the only outcome. I put this behind me on purpose so you guys are reminded of this every single day. You guys see the 8 businesses that are currently inside the home cleaning mentorship that are doing over 83K. Some of you guys are just, you're close. Some of you guys are at 70K. Some of you guys are at 60K. Some of you guys are at 50K. Some of you guys are at 40K. Handful of you guys, 30, 20K, even 10K on here, right? That's the goal. Just if you guys commit to the goal, guys, if you guys commit to the goal of 83K.
And what's the definition of committing? Does anybody remember from the beginning of the call?
What's the definition?
Yeah, great job, Jen. Eliminating all other options.
Go for the goal. If you guys do that, I can help you with the second part. I just had a call this morning with somebody who was thinking about joining the mentorship. And I told her the same thing that I'll tell you guys right now. I said, if you're willing to have the courage to commit to trusting in myself and Katie, the community, the mentorship itself, if you're willing to commit to that, I assure you, I will never quit. I will continue to show up and I will continue to serve. And if you're willing to commit to those things as well, it just becomes a matter of time. Because the cool thing about the mentorship, some of you guys know this who are in it, and this is why I freaking love this mentorship, is that once you're in, you never get kicked out. You're in for life, which means if you can't get there, it's on you because you quit. I didn't quit. You did. You want that. You want to be the person who's responsible for your own goals. Okay? So if you can commit to that, here's what I'll give you. I'll give you the systems. I'll give you the processes. I will give you the how to do the do. Okay? I will show you the path. I will coach you. I will help you. I will guide you. Katie, in the community, other people in here will help you do the thing. Okay? You guys have been with us now on this call for almost an hour. Okay, I just showed you how we went from 0 cleaning experience to last year we did $2.8 million. Okay. By the way, over 400,000 of that was profit. It's like real money, guys. This can change your friggin' life. Okay. And so a lot of you guys are in the mentorship already. And thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to get you to 83K. And the moment that you guys give me money is the moment that I get to push you to get 83K. Like, plain and simple. Like, my only goal is to get more $1 million businesses into the community because it just makes the system better. And the system getting better is my ultimate goal. Like, I will get paid handsomely for the system. And if you guys want to be part of that by you getting your business benefited from using the system, like that's what the mentorship is. Okay. And so like the Autumns and the Josh, Bobby's, Lori's, like a lot of you guys are in the mentorship. So this is awesome. Like if you guys are on the mentorship, talk to some of these guys, Randy, Marcus, Gregorio, Greg just joined, Sergio's in. So it's awesome. A lot of you guys, most of you guys are in the mentorship, which is freaking sweet to see. Right. And so for you guys, I'm talking to you, like you get to 83K, like that's like commit to the goal. Get there. Someone like Julia just had a vision meeting this morning, and Kayla and Jessica and Lucas, like they're over 83K. Now they're going to 2 million. Because like I told you guys earlier, like 1 million is cool. Like you can have a lot of options, but you have more options when you're doing $2 million, right? So if you're inside the community, like give yourself the permission to like go all in, like just eliminate all other options, get to 83K, do whatever's required. Invest the money in marketing, into sales, jump in the seat, do all the things. And I wouldn't ask you to do something that I haven't done. And that's why I want to share these stories, because everything I've ever asked of you is like, I first intentionally did it so I could come back now, years later, and say, Autumn, sit your butt in the seat and make the freaking sales. Stop making excuses. Go. Like, this is not a time to be getting distracted. Like, do the thing, right? Each and every one of you guys, like, do the thing. And if you guys are not currently in mentorship, well, now's an opportunity for you to be part of something where somebody actually cares about you, not just your money. And this is like one of the things that, like, you guys in the community, hopefully you guys see this. Some of you guys who are like maybe newer, like you're skeptical, fair, like, as you should be. And so that's my job, is to just provide as much value as possible and to let you know that like I care more about your results than I do your money, because my reputation is more important than money is. And I just actually signed somebody else last week, and it was really cool. I think she's on here as well, and she was like, "I just love your sales process. Like, it's not pushy. It's a two-step in a sense that like Katie goes through everything, tells you the price, lets you know the options. If you want to move forward, cool. Then you can talk to me. If not, totally cool too, right?" And then somebody else, Katie, was like, "You guys really? What did they say? What did they say? They're like, you guys really don't care about money, do you?" Yeah, I don't remember who said that one, but we do care about money, guys. Like, I'm not like we do care, um, because money is an amazing resource that we can help a lot of people with. However, it's not more important than bringing somebody into the community that is not a good fit for the community. So, like, if your goal is not to get to 83K, if your goal is just to have a comfortable business, if you want to, yeah, if you're not willing to have the humility to learn, and you want to just keep doing things the way you're doing it, then like no, like we won't take your money. We won't allow you to give us money. But if you actually want to use the systems that we have proven and that we continue to improve as we go, then like that's what the mentorship is for, is to give you guys an opportunity to speed up the process. You can never shortcut it, but you can speed it up. And that's by using something that somebody else has already done. And instead of making my mistakes, you're still gonna make mistakes, but your mistakes are gonna come from either the directions you got were bad or your articulation of the directions were bad. And that's an easier problem to solve than like, well, what should I do next? Like, that's where people take forever or never ever get there, is because they're trying to ask that decision rather than like, well, I didn't understand this direction, rather than like, what is the next step? And that's the point of mentorship, is to give you clarity on what you need to do in order to go from 0 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60, 70 to 80, 90, 100 and beyond. Mm-hmm. And so, James, if you don't mind, drop the link for the mentorship. And if you guys do, if you guys are interested, go apply. And Katie will get on a call with you, and she'll see if it's a good fit or not. And if not, then Katie will give you direction. She'll at least point you in the right direction, right? And Katie does. She tells a lot of people, like, go do more free stuff. Go do here. Like, you're not quite ready yet. And if you are ready, then she'll send them to me. But again, like, our whole goal is to make the mentorship better. And so we also consider the people in the mentorship. We want to make sure that when people come in, that it also helps the people who are existing in the mentorship as well. We want to continue to make sure that people in there all have the same goal, and everyone's committed to building $1 million business. And I assure you guys, I do not know of another community on this, especially in the home cleaning business, that's the focus. And so if you guys want to be a part of it, I would love to be a part of it, because it's really freaking fun to see it grow and to see you guys grow. And to watch you guys grow individually is awesome, but to see the community grow as a whole, man, that's how we can transform an industry. I think ultimately, I think that's what we all want. Is we all want to help, we want to serve, and it starts with us. It starts with us getting better, us becoming better systems, us having more clarity, us becoming better leaders, and that's how we actually transform an industry. It's one business at a time, but as we all get better, then the standards of the industry, they increase. Whether somebody's in our community or not doesn't matter, because like, they want to play, they got to increase their standards. They got to increase what we have to raise the value of the marketplace. So, Katie, anything else that you want to share today as we talk about the courage to commit today.
The only thing that comes to mind is we had a mentor once that told us that the bigger the transaction, the bigger the transformation.
Yeah.
So we've done free coaching for people before, and you get a lot of riffraff. You get a lot of uncommitted people. They are not willing to eliminate every other option. So by joining the mentorship and actually transacting with some of your cash, you are showing your initial commitment level. Now,
Yeah.
once you are in the mentorship, it's more important to take action after that point. Uh, but I think it's the larger the transaction, the larger the transformation will be.
It's awesome. Hey guys, so appreciate you guys for showing up today. And yeah, if you guys are committed to building into our business, then get into the mentorship. You guys are in the mentorship. Utilize the information in the internship. Ask questions. Be active in the community. Like be a player in the community. Someone like a Julia, like a Lucas, right? Like be in the community. Make sure people know who you are. Even when you're small, even when you're doing 10, 20, $30,000 a month, like ask questions. Be out there. Try to figure out how to give value. Don't just be an asker. Like be a giver, right? And honestly, like as a student, so this cool kid, you talked about this, like being like part of mentorships. I think one of the things that like I also have an advantage is that like I'm a student. Like I've been in so many mentorships. I have invested like just in like big mentorships, ones that I can actually probably like go back and track, like well over $200,000 in coaching mentorships. And so like I am no stranger to mentorships and coaching. That's why I built this thing based on my own experience as well. Um, and I can tell you guys this is that how you get the most value from mentorships is by using the mentorship to ask questions, like actually asking. But if you have a question you're not willing to share, you're not willing to put out there because you're afraid, or you think it's a silly question, or there's already an answer somewhere else in there. It's in the modules probably. Like yes, all that is true. Ask the question anyway, right? Do like have the vulnerability to ask for help, right? And that's how if you want to be a good student, especially when you're smaller, like I think a lot of people want to like they want to like give to the community. Like, and I think because as human beings, like we all want to give. But like you also got to have skills in order to be give. And so that's why like for coaches as a standpoint, like I only have coaches in the community, people who have actually built $1 million businesses and people who are actually coaching clients, right? They've actually done the thing. But if you guys want to be someone who can give when you're coming up, here's the best advice I can give you. If you want to be a great student and you want to be somebody who gives value to the community, the first thing that you can do is be successful. That's the greatest gift you can give the community. Implement the systems, regardless of how you feel, do them, make mistakes, get rejected, fall on your face, ask for help, come back, do it again until you figure it out. And how you'll know you figured it out is the business will start to grow. And as your business starts to grow, then you start to share. Hey guys, just like Nettie did this morning. She's like, hey guys, I had a PR month in December. And you will share your wins along the way, because the other value of the community is that you guys get to share. You get to share your wins. It doesn't have to be just because how many of you guys have friends that if you guys told them you were PR for the week or your PR revenue, they would not give a crap. Like, I don't care about your business revenue. But in the community, people do care. We actually care about your PRs. Like, it's actually really cool. Like, I screenshot it. You guys, one day, I hope I can show you guys all these screenshots of all the wins of the things that I get to see. And like, it's the thing that gets me going. Like, it's so fulfilling. I get to see all the wins. A lot of them are public, but sometimes you guys send me private messages of like wins. And like, I just love seeing it. It's so cool. It's so freaking cool. Right. But that's the greatest gift you can give the community is be successful. Be successful. So happy Monday, guys. So much. Appreciate you guys. And we're back next week, week number 98. And if you guys are inside the community, we have a new call tomorrow. So get on that system and software call. We're talking about how to implement the system, how to put together the system. Make sure you guys are on that call. And then Wednesday's coaching call, as usual, Q&A. So appreciate you guys. Happy Monday. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys.